What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here, and Michigan just made a statement. They went on the road in Happy Valley, beating a top 10 Penn State team 24-15 without their head coach, Jim Harbaugh. Going to be going over how they grounded and pounded the ball against the #1 rushing defense in the country. We also got an update on the temporary restraining order for Michigan against the Big Ten, and also what Coach Sharon Moore, Blake Corum, JJ McCarthy, and other players said post-game after the big win. It's all going to be in this video and more, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, Michigan just went on the road against a top 10 opponent without their head coach and just came out of there with a win. What a job by this team. All the players, all the coaches, including Sharon Moore. Michigan beats Penn State 24-15. It was an outstanding performance from this team, blocking out all the noise and coming out of Happy Valley and Beaver Stadium with a W. A huge win for the Wolverines and a resume boosting win. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Michigan beats Penn State 24-15. They improved to 10-0 on the season, and Michigan did it in such a Michigan and Jim Harbaugh way, and that is that they grounded and pounded the ball in the second half. On the stat sheet, Michigan did not throw the ball one time. They came out here and proved to everybody that they can run the ball, and they did it against the #1 rushing defense in all of college football. I mean, that is saying something. They had a total of 287 yards, 60 passing yards, 227 rushing yards. And again, JJ McCarthy, he did not throw the ball or attempt to throw the ball one time in the second half. They did have two design plays that were passing plays. One was where JJ McCarthy couldn't pass the ball, so he scrambled and rushed the ball, picked up a first down, and then the other one, it was a pass interference call, so it technically wasn't a passing play on the stat sheet. He went 7 for 8 for 60 yards, and that is it. I mean, all his passes came in the first half, and in the second half, Sharon Moore just said, you know what, we are not going to pass the ball. We are going to humiliate this Penn State defense and rush all over them, and that's what they did. They grounded and pounded the ball. They relied on their defense, and I tell you what, this Michigan defense is stellar. But Blake Corum, he had 26 carries, 145 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then Donovan Edwards also had a nice game with 10 carries, 52 yards, and a touchdown. JJ McCarthy also had 8 carries for 34 yards, and it was all Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, and the offensive line in the second half for Michigan's offense. And I tell you what, Sharon Moore, I mean, I'm pretty sure he did this on purpose. He is sending a message to everybody that, yeah, we can still run the ball. I mean, you have a Heisman candidate quarterback out of JJ McCarthy, and you didn't have to go to him at all in the second half. All you did is ran the ball in the second half, and you still beat him 24-15. As far as receiving, Cornelius Johnson had 2 receptions, 24 yards. The freshman Samaj Morgan was active and early. He had 2 receptions for 17 yards. AJ Barner had 1 catch for 12 yards, and Colston Loveland had 2 receptions for 7 yards. But other than that, we did not see Roman Wilson at all today. And again, I mean, JJ only threw the ball for 8 times. He had 8 pass attempts in this one, which is just crazy for a Heisman candidate. I mean, in the second half, Michigan was just lining up with 8 or 9 offensive linemen on the field, basically telling Penn State, yeah, we're going to run the ball, try and stop us. So let me know what you guys' thoughts are on this game, but to me, this was just beautiful from Michigan and Sharon Moore. All that matters is that we got the win. That's all that matters, is coming out of here with a win. For what, happened, for Jim Harbaugh getting suspended, Michigan didn't get the injunction in time, for all that to happen right before this game, and still to go in against a top 10 team on the road without your head coach and run the ball like you did, that is just phenomenal from Michigan. And today just proves that Michigan, they can still run the ball. They have everything that a complete team should have. They can pass the ball, they can run the ball, they have a dominant defense, they have checked all the boxes this season. And then you look at the defense, they allowed 238 yards for Penn State, 74 passing yards, 164 rushing yards. They forced a key turnover to start the second half as Drew Aller had a quarterback draw on, I believe, 3rd and 2, and he fumbled the ball. Makari Page picked it up. That was a big stop and a big turnover for the Michigan defense. Early in the game, Penn State, they drove down, but Michigan got a goal line stop, forced them to a 4th and goal, and they kicked a field goal. And Penn State was also driving towards the end of the first half, and it was 4th and 2. They pulled out a rabbit out of their hat with a trick play, got the first down, and then Drew Aller ran it in, failed 2-point conversion, and Penn State also scored a touchdown late in the game. But in the second half, this defense was just stellar. They forced multiple 3-and-outs, and they basically forced Penn State into a one-dimensional offense. Penn State was not passing the ball with Drew Aller. All they were doing is running the ball, and you could just tell that James Franklin and Penn State, they were not going to trust Drew Aller in this game, because it showed that offense just became one-dimensional. And Michigan, they stopped the run, and they were just dominant all game long in this one. Michigan did get 1 sack on the game. It was from Jalen Harrell, had a total of 3 tackle for losses. They got a lot of pressure on Drew Aller, but he was just able to run away, so credit to him. But yeah, this Michigan defense, they have just been stellar all season long. They proved it again today. They also just proved that, even if Michigan's offense isn't clicking in a game, the defense can go out there and win a game, and that's what a complete team looks like. So let me know what you guys thought about this one. It's a sweet victory. It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. This was a huge win, especially with everything going on, man. Michigan versus everybody. Jim Harbaugh wasn't able to coach. We do have an update on that situation. Obviously, Michigan was waiting for the decision. They filed a temporary restraining order. Now, the judge was Timothy Connors, who eventually delayed the ruling today, and it was announced that they weren't going to make a ruling today in time for game time, and the ruling and a hearing will be set for Friday now, as both sides, Michigan and the Big Ten, will be able to present their cases on Friday, and we should get a ruling Friday before the Maryland game. And if it does indeed go through for Michigan, Harbaugh will be able to coach against Maryland and Ohio State. So that's the update that we have, and Michigan responded to the ruling being delayed and the hearing on Friday. They said, "We look forward to presenting our case next week, where we intend to demonstrate that the Big Ten has not acted fairly." So we got another week to go through all of this drama, but nonetheless, Michigan, they get the key win they needed today against Penn State, and that's all that matters. And we hope to get Coach Harbaugh back in time against Maryland and for the showdown against Ohio State. Now, Sherrone Moore, he was very emotional after the game, as he is undefeated as the acting head coach for Michigan and gets a top 10 win over Penn State. And he said, we did it for Harbaugh. He told Harbaugh that he loves him. He was so proud of the players and everything. He was just very emotional. And after in his press conference, post-game press conference, on crying after the game, he said, "This place feels like home to me. It runs deep, and I wear my heart on my sleeve." Blake Corum also spoke, and he was bleeding. He had his whole face dripping blood because he had some battle scars, but he said post-game that we did it for Coach Harbaugh. Also funny to know if you guys saw it or not, but when Blake Corum had his game-sealing touchdown against Penn State today, Manny Diaz, the Penn State defensive coordinator, posted a little video, and let's just say Blake Corum basically mocked what he did in his touchdown celebration. Trevor Keegan post-game, he said that there's a target on Michigan's back right now, and he said, "We love that shit. The storm is coming. We are the storm." JJ McCarthy post-game, he said that Jim Harbaugh told him pregame, "I love you so much, go be you." And Sherrone Moore, on Jim Harbaugh's message to the team this weekend, he said, "Play for yourself, play for your team, and play for Michigan." JJ also said that the team FaceTimed Jim Harbaugh after the game, and he said that he was the jolly good fellow this week, as Michigan does, you know, the jolly good fellow chant after every single game, and Jim Harbaugh was the jolly good fellow this week. So very special moment for this team, a very special win. But Michigan comes out of Happy Valley with a huge win, 24-15 over Penn State. Other than that, hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you guys go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more. If you are new around here, I'd really appreciate it. But other than that, we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.